Hi, how's it going? Today I'm going to do a tier list of all the malls across the Denver Metropolitan Area. This was originally going to be a segment in the upcoming episode of American City Planning Sucks, but I felt like this deserved its own video, so let's just get right into it. We're going to start by talking about Park Meadows, which, despite how much I criticize it, is not actually the worst mall in Denver when it comes to transit accessibility. It's really quite run-of-the-mill. It does at least have transit connections. You can get there by bus or by train at the County Line station, and there is a dedicated walking path from the station. The grounds of the mall, however, are still very car-centric, and there are no sidewalks, so it's very difficult to get anywhere else from that station. But at least the connections are there. They're fairly reliable, and I've actually used this before, so I can speak from experience that this is not the worst thing in the world, but it could be much better. Every mall on this list would benefit greatly from infill development, but I feel like Park Meadows, due to its light rail connections, would probably benefit the most. Although in its current state, it's still not all that good. I'm gonna give it a C tier. Alright, next up is Belmar. Now, Belmar is one of the newer malls in the Denver area. It was completed around like 2005, I think, and was built to be kind of a town center for Lakewood. Of all the malls on this list, it's the only one that actually functions like that. It's not surrounded by a sea of parking lots, and it does have all right transit connections. It's a cool place. It feels like an actual downtown Lakewood, which is clearly what they were going for. There's still a lot of room to improve. The transit connection should be better. Wadsworth is a very hard road to cross and effectively cuts off Belmar from the parks on the other side of the street, and a few other areas of improvement, but overall, Belmar is definitely a step in the right direction. The designers of this area were actually pretty smart in getting rid of the old Villa Italia mall and putting in something that will be a lot better for the community. There is still room for improvement, but overall it's very good. And that's why Belmar is getting an A ranking. And that is why there's no S ranking on this list, because I don't think there's any mall in Denver that deserves an S ranking. Some are close, but there are still large areas that need to be improved before they get that coveted tier. Oh, next is the infamous Aurora Town Center. Now, this mall does have actually alright transit connections. It's accessible via the R line, as well as a couple bus routes. Overall, though, it's still a very car-centric site and features a lot of the same issues as Park Meadows to the south, so because of that, I'm going to put it in the same tier as Park Meadows at C. Next up is Northfield, and oh boy, this is one of these new mall designs, where instead of the covered mall surrounded by parking lots, they have a small walkable area outdoors that's also surrounded by parking lots. And I have no idea why they've started building things like this. It's absolutely stupid. Northfield is really a textbook example of this type of mall. It's not accessible really by any transit. Northfield is stupidly hard to get to from Central Park Station, and there is a bus line that gets a little bit closer, but it still picks up several blocks to the east, and the whole mall is just overall surrounded by large parking lots and does not fit into the city well at all. Although, because it does have that bus connection, and because it has room to improve through infill development, I'm going to give this one a D tier. Now we have the Denver Pavilions, and oh man, the Denver Pavilions is probably the smartest mall in Denver. It's condensed very neatly into these two small block areas in downtown. It's right on the 16th Street Mall, and accessible via the 16th Street Mall ride, but it's also only a block away from light rail. It's a very efficient mall and really the most transit oriented in all of Denver. So this is going top of A tier. Now, Southlands. Oh my god, Southlands. This is an abomination. This site is a testament against God. The Southlands Mall is an ugly hellscape that's completely inaccessible by any form of transit and still difficult to walk around in once you're there. The only saving grace of this place is the once per hour 135 bus that picks up here. Yeah, that's right, once per hour. Have fun! This whole design is just irksome to me. The fact that they would build this mall that's designed to be reminiscent of an American small town and then surround it with parking lots. But they couldn't just do that. They also surrounded it with parking lots on the inside because they didn't just build a mall reminiscent of a small American town. They also built a mall reminiscent of a car-centric small American town. It's genuinely unbelievable. How is this place real? This is just stupid. F tier. Next is the outlets at Castle Rock, and this is debatable whether this is actually in the Denver Metro or not. I'm gonna just say it is because why the hell not? Plus I want to talk about it. This is one of the weirdest layouts for a kind of outdoor mall in Colorado. Its design kind of consists of these 5 or 4 large circular blocks filled with stores, which is decently creative and even vaguely reminiscent of like a Barcelona super block. However, this mall is still just a bad design overall, because within each of these 4 shopping circles that the mall consists of, you have this big ugly area of loading docks that are just kind of tucked away to the back. Additionally, there's no transit here, and honestly, that's kind of the point. It was built to be a glorified rest stop / shopping center for travelers on I-25. But even still, it's an awkward stop off of I-25. The route, you have to like loop down and around and then back up, and it's just the whole mall comes off like a very badly designed theme park. I really don't like this place. I kind of laugh at it every time I drive by it, so this is going to go into the, F tier. Now we go from far down south to way up north, almost to Boulder, because next is Flatiron Crossing. Now this mall is an interesting one. I've only been here once or twice, and it's not exactly the most well-designed mall, but it does have its aspects of quality. It doesn't look like it would be transit accessible, but it kind of is through the Flatiron Flyer, which is a BRT system launched by RTD a few years ago to get riders quickly from downtown Denver up to Boulder and vice versa. Now, there's a stop here, US 36 and Flatiron, that you can get off the bus at, and then walk this kind of long path over to the mall. I don't think many people are going to walk this path, but at least they put in the effort to have it there and have like this tunnel underneath the road. It's fairly well designed, and I think that this mall could really improve once the B line is completed to this same station, as well as, like I've said before, further infill development. Hey, while editing this video, I found out about this, the Flatiron Crossing redevelopment, where they plan to build a bunch of mixed-use, residential, and even office space on the site of the mall's parking lots. It's not exactly transit-oriented, as you can see with that giant parking lot over there, but it's a step in the right direction nonetheless. It looks like a really promising project, and I hope it is fully realized. But for right now, Flatiron Crossing is going to go into the C tier. Next up is Southwest Plaza. Now, this mall is just another typical 1980s style mall. It's been renovated once or twice. It's not a bad mall when it comes to transit accessibility, but there are no sidewalks on the property again. So the 2 bus stations that are near it, it's going to be a very difficult walk over to the mall. It's clearly designed entirely for cars, and I haven't looked up the frequency of buses at these stations, but knowing the buses of this area, I would doubt that they are very reliable at all. So Southwest Plaza is going to go in the D tier. It could easily jump up to the C tier if it just put in sidewalks for pedestrians to and from the bus stations. Please, Southwest Plaza. Now is Colorado Mills. This is a mall on the west side of Denver. It's literally in a complex known as Denver West. How creative. And you'd think it would have no transit access, but it does. There are a couple bus routes that serve this stop, and from here you can walk on a sidewalk all the way over to the mall. The mall, though, is still quite detached from its surroundings. Because of this, the mall is once again not the worst, and it is possible to access via transit, though it's not easy, and there are a lot of areas the mall could improve, so it's going in C tier. Now we have the streets at Southglenn, more like the street at Southglenn, am I right? Now this area isn't actually that bad. It's actually another rare case of mixed-use development being built in the Denver Metro. However, it's not the most well-used space, and there still are a lot of parking lots around the site. This area in the future could very easily be adapted into a good urban center for this region of South Denver, but for right now it's basically just a glorified strip mall with a Whole Foods instead of a Walmart, so it's going in C tier. Now we have Cherry Creek Shopping Center. Now this is actually a pretty good design of a mall. It's in one of the wealthier areas of Denver, so it's kind of known for being a pretty posh shopping center compared to all the others, but it is still actually a good design and way more transit accessible than, say, Colorado Mills or
Southlands.
This is overall a pretty well-designed mall. It's the only mall in the Denver Metro that built actual parking garages instead of surrounding itself with surface parking lots, which take up far more space. It is fairly easy to walk to the mall as it is within a mixed-use development of this new downtown Cherry Creek area. It is on the Cherry Creek bike trail, so you can bike here. And the mall is also served by several actually reliable bus routes. Overall, it just fits into the city landscape better than most. And because of that, it's going into the A tier. And I know some people hate on the Restoration Hardware building, but I do not care. This is the best mall exterior facade ever, and they should make every mall look like this from now on. Ugh, the Orchard, another one of these stupid outdoor malls. Now this one isn't quite as bad as Southlands by its general design, but it is surrounded by even more parking lots, and there is absolutely no transit here. It is 100% car-centric, and I still think that this whole mall design is just inefficient even for people that are coming by car. Because at least the 1980s mall design, you would park, get out, and walk straight into the mall, pretty much. This design, you park, get out, and you walk over into a outdoor area that's slightly less car-centric than the place you were just at. What is the point of even going here? This is no better than a strip mall. Orchard sucks, going in F tier. Alright, and I think that's every single mall covered in the Denver Metropolitan Area. I know we didn't have any B tiers, but it seemed pretty balanced. And wait, what's this? Prairie Center? It's all here? What is this place? That's it! That's the whole thing! You got your 6 buildings. It truly is all here. Oh my god. Yep, this is the Prairie Center. This is the whole Prairie Center. Wow. This is peak urbanism right here. Step aside, Dutch urbanism. East Denver's one up to you with the Prairie Center. So we have how many buildings is this? This is 12 buildings. Surrounded by parking lots and car-centric streets even in the center. And then you have a Chili's over here and then a strip mall on this side that's not even accessible from the main square, if you could even call it that. Oh. What is happening? Okay, I've created a new tier, and we're just going to put it right there. All right, cool. So that's the whole tier list. This is now written fact. This is the official ranking of the quality of all malls across Denver, and anyone that questions it is wrong. I'm just kidding. But that is all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and the next actually good video will be coming soon. So in order to stay tuned for that, be sure to subscribe or I'll send you to the Prairie Center.